Buckaneers, this is part 1 of our series to Death Valley National Park, and we are going to show you the fun things you can do here. Our first stop is Furnace Creek Visitor Center. Over here shows that our elevation is 190 feet below sea level, and the temperature is currently 51 degrees Fahrenheit. But in the summer, this would read like over 100 or something. Now, Death Valley holds 3 records for national parks. The lowest point in North America is Badwater Basin. We'll be going there in a bit. It's also the driest national park, and the hottest temperature was recorded here at Furnace Creek, probably on this thermometer. It was like 136 degrees. While you're here, we recommend purchasing a national park annual pass, which grants you unlimited access to any national park for a whole year, and it only costs $80 per family. It's a great way to support the national parks, and it's affordable. And if you're a 4th grader, you get this for free.
We'll say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I promise to have fun in the park. Not even that? Alright.
So we got a national park passport, and we bought the national park sticker for Death Valley,
since our other passport got all filled up.
Yeah. And now I'm going to stick the sticker in the western region, which is Hawaii, California, Nevada, and Arizona. There we go. Thank you. Next, we're checking out the Borax Museum, which is outdoors. In the late 1800s, they mined borax here at Death Valley, and it was known as white gold. Today, borax is still used as a detergent, and all these equipments that you see were used in the mining process. There's a sign here that talks about that locomotive, and basically, whoa, it weighs 60 tons, and it carried borax through Death Valley, I guess, to deliver to people. But the railway was abandoned in 1931, so then this locomotive was donated to the museum. Brother just found a sheet over there, which basically tells us what all the equipments are. So you'll see that each equipment is labeled with a number, such as 46, and then you can find that number on this sheet, and it tells you what that tool or equipment or thing was used for. I'm not going to read to you everything from this sheet because it'll take a long time, but this cool looking wagon, I wish we could put Camu on it, is labeled as 42. And 42 says that this thing was used by the Borax King for transportation around his Death Valley properties in the 1880s. So apparently there was a Borax King. Alright, last one we're going to highlight is number 6. This kind of looks like the Huff and Puff at Knott's Berry Farm. So this is the railroad crew car. So crew members rode on this thing that doesn't look too sturdy. I don't know, it doesn't look too sturdy. It's just made of wood. Here's a really cool looking resort. I think it's Spanish themed. It's right outside the Borax Museum nearby Furnace Creek, but unfortunately it's closed due to the pandemic. Our next stop is Harmony Borax Works, and I'm pretty sure this is a 1/4 mile loop. You can actually see the entire loop from the parking lot here. This site, Harmony Borax Works, was one of the first borax operations in Death Valley. And again, borax is known as white gold because it was very profitable. And the mining here took place from the years 1883 to 1888. This borax refining plant was built by William T. Coleman in 1882 because the borax was found at the nearby salt flats. But instead of carrying the borax 165 miles across the desert to the railroad, they made it easier by building the plant here to refine the borax. So Chinese laborers recruited from San Francisco scraped the borax off the salt flats, and they earned $1.30 per day. $1.30. That's really not a lot. These carts are probably where the borax was placed in, and they used 20 mule teams, so 20 mules, to carry this heavy borax across the desert. Okay, on to our next destination. Now we're at Zabriskie Point and we're going to climb to the top. The hike is 100 yards or 300 feet one way, so that's a total of 600 feet, which shouldn't be too bad. Right now is 11:20 in the morning, and I guarantee you that brother is going to run out of energy soon because right now he's running like crazy, but at some point he's going to become grumpy. That always happens. Look at this view. We're like halfway to the top and we already see this. Oh. We're nearly at the top and look at this view. I love like how the mountains are slightly different colors. There's like brown and yellow and red, and all the textures. It's so cool. There's also mountains off in the distance. And look down here.
People.
It's like a steep slope. And there's also people down there. So if we did have time to go on a longer hike, then I suppose we could go down there. Okay. So we did go, I mean, this is a designated path, but most people don't come on this dirt trail. Here's the end of Zabriskie Point. You can see, is there like a lava flow down there? Maybe not, but it looks cool. It's like black. And the rippling mountains on all sides. We made it to Dantes View, and look. This is Dantes View. We're at 5,475 feet above sea level. And then from here you can see Badwater, which is 282 feet below sea level. So that's like more than a 5,000 feet difference. And come here.
There's where we're going next.
There's where we're going next.
Salt flat. And it's called Badwater Basin.
The crazy thing is, from Dantes View all the way to Badwater Basin is like an hour drive, but you can see it from there. We already have a great view here, but we're going to go on the short hike. It's apparently 220 feet out and back, which is very short. It's so cool that we're looking down on the salt flats right now, but in just like a couple hours or so, we'll be at the salt flats looking up at where we are right now. We're on the way to Badwater Basin and we have reached sea level. We have reached Badwater Basin, the lowest point in all of North America. It's negative 282 feet.
And there's sea level.
Yes, and there's a sign all the way up there that shows where sea level is.
So that's very far.
Now, the name Badwater Basin came about because apparently a man and his horse came walking through Death Valley one day, and the horse needed to drink water, but the horse didn't like this water because it was too salty. And there, as you can see, this whole area is just salt flats. In fact, we're going to be walking on them. Let's go.
Look at the salt. We're walking on salt flats.
These salt flats kind of look like corals. In fact, I won't be surprised if this whole place used to be underwater. It probably was.
And it used to be as high as where that sea level sign was.
This is the spot, Badwater Basin, 282 feet below sea level, the lowest point in North America, and we're here.
So right now we're walking on basically wood that's kind of like a boardwalk with salt on it, but now we're going to walk on just salt. After here.
We're now on salt.
Now we're just on salt.
Okay, so for those of you who have never walked on salt before, it's not like sand because it's harder, but it's not like wood because it's crunchier.
It's crunchy.
Yeah, it feels crunchy.
Whoa! Almost stepped in the hole. Salt crystal. Okay, I got a real piece of salt there. Look.
And that is Badwater Basin. It's a great place to take photos, see the marker at the front, and it's just so wide. It's also very cool to walk on salt. That was my first time doing it, and maybe my only time. But in the summer, it might not be a good idea to come onto the salt flats because the white's going to reflect heat, and it's going to be really hot. So anyways, yeah, that's Badwater Basin, and now let's head to our next destination. The next stop is Devil's Golf Course, which does not require a hike to get to. It's just a short drive on a dirt road. And here it is. It looks like Mars. It looks like you're on a different planet. All these jagged formations are composed of crystallized salt, and you are allowed to walk on them, but be careful because if you fall, apparently you could get cut really badly. We have just started on the Artist Palette Scenic Drive, which is a one-way road, and we're headed towards Artist Palette. We're approaching Artist Palette Overlook. That is Artist Palette. You can see there's many different colors on these mountains. There's pink, like turquoise blue, orange, also the standard mountain color. I think the color happened because of oxidation of minerals. All right, let's go closer. It's not too bad. This looks like a slot canyon, but we hiked a real one like last month. You can watch that video by clicking up here. Here we are. This might be as close as we can get. You can see the pink rock here and the turquoise rock here. Even the ground we're walking on is slightly colored.
Whoa. Artist Palette. Yeah.
I think we've reached the end of Artist Palette. So from the narrow slot canyon kind of thing, it opens up into more Artist Palette. But anyway, that's kind of the end, I think. And that is Artist Palette. So I really enjoyed this place. I'm glad that you were able to get up close to this whole Artist Palette place. You can even hike through it.
That we can explore.
Yes, and you can touch it. There's a lot of cool photo opportunities. In fact, we spent like 20 minutes just taking photos. Yep. And overall, Death Valley National Park was really nice. Brother, what was your favorite part today? This Artist Palette. Okay, my favorite place was Badwater.
Badwater.
Yeah, Badwater was also cool to walk on the salt flats and be at the lowest point in North America. And I liked both places very much, but I also enjoyed Dantes View, which was very high up, because it was because it was good to just look down on the whole world and the salt flats and everything.
Yeah.
And that's not all for Death Valley. We still have one more day here, so stay tuned for part 2. Bye.
Bye.